I'm back. You could probably tell that I haven't uploaded in 3 weeks, evident by the fact that my last upload was 3 weeks ago. And the story as to why is a story for a different time. But anyway, point is, I'm back. It's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 week, boys. Which means it's time to get my butt into gear and start making some videos again. We got a video coming out every single day this week. Longtime viewers of the channel will know the protocol. The week a Marvel film releases, I upload every single day for like 7 or 8 days straight. I don't plan on stopping this week. I'm going to go nuts. I'm going to be busy, but I'm going to keep working so that I can keep that promise to you. So this video, what we're doing, this is something I do before every Marvel film, and this is honestly something I should have done last week. It's kind of late. So this is what you need to watch to prepare for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in the event that, you don't have time to watch everything, or you procrastinate and don't have that much time to prepare. So I have, as usual, several different lists of things, and I will start at the one that consists of the most stuff and work my way to the one that consists of the least stuff and kind of justify why I built it like that. I have done this since, God, I think I did this starting at No Way Home, and it's working. I kind of like doing it. So yeah, we're going to keep doing it for this. So anyway, hopping into this first list. Oh yeah, and usually I have physical copies for everything, but I don't, because I have not printed my custom covers for stuff. So I only have 5 of the 7 things I'm going to talk about total in this video. So instead you guys get to look at posters or screenshots or however I decide to edit this. So let's start at number 1. This is everything. This is like if the Guardians have made an appearance, it's in this list. And this consists of 7 different titles. So yeah, you guys guessed it. First up are Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the first 2 James Gunn films. Really the essentials. These will be on every single list. As for the other stuff, that's debatable, but you have to watch these. I mean, I shouldn't even have to justify why you should watch these before you watch Volume 3, but watch them. I'm not going to explain further, because I feel like it's a given that you should watch Guardians 1 and Guardians 2. Alright, next up, I have Avengers Infinity War. Now, the reason this is on here is obviously because the Guardians are a big part of that, and the snap happens in that movie, but more so because of Gamora's death. Because Gamora's death is going to be a big part of the story in Volume 3, and she dies in this film. If you skip this entirely, you're not really getting that added context that this movie gives you, that Gamora did in fact die at the hands of Thanos. And a bunch of the Guardians die. The only 2 at the end of this are Rocket and Nebula, and I'm sure the fact that most of the Guardians were dead for 5 years is going to be another piece of the puzzle in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So toss Infinity War in there. Alright, next up, I have Endgame, just because it's, the sequel to Infinity War. The Guardians are in it. Rocket and Nebula are a big part of this story as well. And this explains where we get our Gamora from for Volume 3. Where she comes from, where she stands at the start of that movie, and really that whole dynamic that Peter and Gamora are going to have exists because of the actions of the time heist in Endgame. So watch this if you need some explanation on what's going on with Gamora. Also, spoiler alert, I probably should have said I'd be spoiling stuff in this video, but there you go. So Infinity War and Endgame I have on here. Alright, next up, and this is it for all the physical copies I have Thor Love and Thunder, because yes, it's a Thor film. The Guardians aren't on it. They're not on the back of it. But the Guardians are at the start of this movie. Nebula's with the team, Kraglin's with the team now, and it's just, the first little bit of that movie is kind of just a Guardians adventure, and just kind of fills in some of the stuff they've been doing between Endgame and Volume 3, just a general sense of their adventures. Now, if you want to turn this film off after the first action sequence, go for it, but I tossed Love and Thunder in here because why not? I may actually watch this one before Guardians 3, Not because I like it, not because it's that important, but I want to rewatch it to see if it's gotten better almost a year on. So, Thor Love and Thunder right there. And then the last two things I don't have cases for. I have not printed my custom covers for them yet, but first up is I Am Groot. I Am Groot is on here because I believe James Gunn executive produced it. He was involved with that show. Also, yes, they are fully canon. They're not part of the Guardians storyline, but they are fully canon. Just some baby Groot antics there, a little fun dynamic with some of the Guardians. And again, it's just some more adventures they went on, some great characterization for Groot. And at the end of the day, they are just really fun shorts. So I would advise watching them. I had a lot of fun watching them. I can't wait till they release piece of dust. I can't wait until they release more of them because they said they're making 5 more. So I will be watching those. But I Am Groot's on there. And then lastly, I have the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. This, in my opinion, is just as important as watching Volume 1 and Volume 2, because with the Holiday Special, you get all the added lore with Star-Lord and Mantis. And it's also the first appearance of young adult Groot, or Swole Groot, or whatever we're calling him. We have, Kraglin kind of becoming a full member of the team. We have Cosmo the Space Dog's introduction. We get the context that the Guardians own Nowhere now. And they build up a little more on how Peter's doing now that Gamora's gone. So all in all, I'd say the Holiday Special is probably just as important to watch as Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's all 7 things I have for this grouping of things you should watch. But that's not all there is. There is a bit more to this. Okay, so this next thing I'm going to describe to you is like Guardians Essential / good. And basically what that means is it's everything I just talked about minus the bad film. And it's purely things where the Guardians storyline is furthered. So it's, once again, both 2 Guardians films, Infinity War and Endgame, and the Guardians of the and I Am Groot, I Am Groot's in there also, and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special for all the same reasons I listed in the last thing, except this time, Thor Love and Thunder's not in there. Unless, again, if you want to watch the first 10 minutes of this film that the Guardians are in, besides the fact that Thor's acting out of character, it's a fun action sequence, just watch that action sequence, but that's what I have. So now moving on, we can narrow this down a bit more. So this next one is what I call like story essential. This is like the bare bones of the Guardians of the Galaxy storyline that cuts out some of the filler, it chews some of the fat off of it, and narrows it down to 4 things, 3 of which are in my hand, and they are exactly what you thought they would be. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and Avengers Infinity War, because, this is a full Guardians story. I took Endgame out, so here's why I took Endgame out of this lineup. Actually, let me finish what the rest of it is, and then, of course, the Holiday Special is the 4th thing on here. But the reason I took Endgame out of this lineup is because that is first and foremost an Iron Man and a Captain America story, and you just get some of the Guardians at the end of that movie, and you get Gamora at the end of that movie. But I'm thinking like stripping this down to where the Guardians storyline is almost front and center. It's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and Avengers Infinity War. Now, if you're like me, you don't feel like watching Infinity War because you watched it after almost every single release for like the last 5 movies, and you're kind of bored of it. In which case, this is stripped down again. This is the bare minimum. This is if you want purely James Gunn Guardians content. The Guardians films and the Holiday Special. You're probably going to have to go on Marvel Studios Legends, watch the Gamora one to figure out where exactly her story sits at between Volume 2 and the Holiday Special. But if you want to watch this as James Gunn's complete storyline for these characters, which is what I plan on doing, you go 1, 2, Holiday Special, and then into Volume 3. At least That's my plan. But there you guys go. I hope this is helpful in deciding what you should watch before Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 comes out in like 4 days, and we're all gonna be sad and cry, and it's gonna be rough, but it's gonna be really good. According to the reviews, I cannot wait for this film. So let me know your thoughts on these lists and how hyped you are for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 down in the comments below. Also leave a like on this video, subscribe, click on the bell icon to receive all notifications from the MCU HQ. That's going to be it. Have a great day, guys.